Alright, we're going to double back on 1 Timothy chapter 2 just to clear up some stuff. I decided to go a little bit deeper. And this is the verse from 1 Timothy 2:11 through 12. A woman shall learn in quietness and full submission. I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Alright, let's get into it. We all know that a woman can't teach a man how to be a man, but we most certainly can teach a man how to treat us. And let's set the record straight. I'm not talking about no worldly men. I'm referring to men of God only. The natural order is the women are to teach children and the other women amongst their groups in our tribes. And the men have their own separate circles where they teach and learn amongst one another. And back to the verse, I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. This is mainly for public setting's sake, where a woman is not to have authority over a man. But we all know at home it's a total different ball game. We already know the woman runs the house. The man runs the show, but the woman runs the house. Everybody knows this. Come on now, basic math. We see this now in our own household. However, the woman represents the man, and she must conduct herself as a lady at all times. Now, behind closed doors is where they come to this understanding. This is where the balance is made and negotiated, so they are able to successfully remain on the same page at home and in public. This only works when they work together because they are a unit. They will have to stay in harmony. One without the other is useless when they are a package deal. Knowing your position as a divine feminine and respecting him as a divine masculine. Playing your role individually while working together to join forces. To become whole is the fundamentals of this machine and how it operates. Manpower is loud and external. That's his role. Women power is silent and internal. She's the secret weapon. That is her role. The woman is the moon, intuition. The man is the sun, the ego. Each individual has a role to play. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. The individuals and the role that they play. And together they are duality. The negative without the positive will throw off the balance. He's the master of this material world, and she's the master of the spiritual realm. We can't do both. That's why it's important to stay in your own lane, because you can't do both. It takes time and a lot of healing to get to this understanding. That's why I suggest all women heal their wounds. The sacral and the solar plexus, the lower chakras. Heal your wounds, detox your wounds, so that you have a clear conscience and your judgment is not clouded. A lot of times, men and women are subliminally competing with one another. And that's another problem. Competing with your opposite. I advise every woman to heal their wounds so they don't get caught up subliminally competing with men for a role or a position that neither one of them are ready for. No shade. You have to be on the same page to activate both energies. One cannot work without the other. You, woman, try to play the masculine role, and you have masculines trying to play the feminine role, when you need both energies to activate full alignment and balance. That's why I said that. Competing will not get you there. It will basically hinder you and stop you in your tracks and keep you stuck. We all have our own position and our own roles to play, but we've been tricked and brainwashed believing that we can do everything, play other people's role. How you gonna play with somebody else's role and you ain't even master your own role? Think about that. It's not about the masculine nor the feminine being in lead in front of one or behind the other. It's not about that. It's about being equally yoked in union as one, wholeness, oneness. But both parties have to understand their role and operate accordingly. It's deeper than one person being in front of the line. It's about joining forces to become wholeness. For instance, a machine only functions when every piece plays its role while working in harmony. Everything does something different, but they are on the same accord. Everything has a different job, but on the same mission. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And if one part, just one part stops, jams, or stop doing its job to do the other piece's job, it will destroy the operation. It will crash the system. Things will either break, jam, or stop because of one piece not being in alignment, not being in harmony, and not functioning like it needs to. Just pay attention to nature. It only operates by divine order. Everything plays its own role, and it's law that everything in nature abide by those rules. Once you get rid of the concept of a man being in front of a woman or a woman being in front of a man as a visual representation of leading, y'all will understand it's not about who's in front or who's in the back. It's about being in alignment, balance, equally yoked, masculine, feminine, together as one. Okay, that's what it's about. Being equally yoked. Don't y'all be seeing them pictures of them kings and queens. The king not standing in front of the queen, or vice versa. She is right on side of him, because that's how you're supposed to be, right on side of each other, joining forces, and that's the only way to be fully activated. I could be wrong, I could be projecting, but I just pay attention to how nature works and how the animal kingdom operates, and it's right in our face.